If you have rice in your pantry but don't want to eat it plain, here are 3 very different recipes that show off the versatility of rice. First, my dad will show you how to make
鍋巴湯
sizzling rice soup. It's a heartwarming soup paired with crispy, crackling pieces of literal fried rice. Now you can buy pre-made rice crackers, but we're going to start by learning how to make these on our own.
今日同你介紹呢個咧，就係鍋巴湯。嗱，呢個都係買翻嚟嘅鍋巴，大嘅中國超市咧都會有得賣。嗱，呢個咧就係我自己整嘅，用啲飯自己整。你咩？因為好多地方唔一定買到鍋巴噶嘛，咁我就首先整個鍋巴俾你睇佢聽嘅先。呢就係飯嚟嘅，你將啲飯倒過落嚟呢度。
We'll start with a small bowl of freshly cooked rice.
撳扁佢。
係咪即刻整好定係嗰個嘢啊？
啲飯最好就熱，佢凍咗啦，佢就唔會黐埋噶啦。趁熱嘅時候咁樣撳開佢，撳扁佢得噶啦。
With our hands, we'll flatten the rice between pieces of saran wrap.
我自己整嘅就我都冇乜所謂，自己整嘅慳啲錢咯。呢嚿要50個先
一塊。
你去餐館食一個我打4塊俾你，如果你我打攞多一個，咁攞多一嚿會1蚊一嚿，飯嚟嘅啫嘛，好平嘅啫嘛。
唔係㗎。
係啊，哇！將佢撳扁之後咧，就咁啦。
裏面啲有卡字啊？
佢唔會黐啦嘛。嗱，下邊佢乾咗之後，一拎出拎開咪得咯。
What kind of rice do you use?
煎米粉煎米啦，我用得泰國米就用腍啲，就 OK 咩米都得，最好就用糯米，拍爆得嚟靚啲。不過好似我哋啲靚時，不過糯米轉米你整得好一樣嘅啫。擺爐吹乾佢，曬乾佢。如果你係冇太陽咁啊，擺焗爐200度嘅焗爐，唔好太高嘅窿勢啦，等佢慢慢扯乾佢，乾透咗先得。如果唔乾透咧，佢炸起嚟佢唔會發㗎啊。
To dry it out, we'll set the flattened rice in direct sunlight for at least 6 hours. If you don't have enough sunlight or time, you can also bake it in the oven on a tray for 3 hours at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Then they'll be ready to cook.
呢度講鍋巴冇人識嘅，我哋細個咧成日食鍋巴嘅，鍋自己係鑊，巴就飯焦，呢個進化咗咁樣做。我哋細個嗰時食嗰啲鍋巴，正式係鍋巴就飯焦。飯焦紙收尾食完咧就燒熱嘅，撞俾啲滾水嘭一聲，好似像你頭先咁樣，一聲爆起晒，咁啊鏟起晒嗰啲飯焦，連啲水連啲湯。
所以唔一定要炸。
嗰啲飯焦已經係金黃色㗎啦，唔使炸㗎啦嗰啲。
仲靚過呢啲啊！
咁樣鏟起嗰啲飯焦嗰啲湯啊，就好香過呢啲嘅。
As my dad mentions, sizzling rice or crispy rice is known as 鍋巴 in Cantonese and is an essential ingredient in the soup. To fully appreciate this dish, we'll have to go back to the legend of a monk. In ancient China, a young monk was tasked to cook porridge for everyone in the temple. He didn't use enough water and fell asleep, so instead it became an inedible and overcooked stew. As punishment, he wasn't allowed to eat for the rest of the day. But in his hunger, the young monk ate the layer of burnt rice at the bottom of the pot and was surprised to find it to be delicious. When he returned to his normal life, he opened a stall selling it as a special dish, which became wildly popular throughout China. The happy accident of crispy rice was originally just a side effect of cooking rice, but is now specially made by baking or frying like we're doing today. And it's used in all sorts of ways, from sweets to snacks to stir fries and to soups, like the one we're making today.
好啦，講咗整鍋巴之後咧，我就切雞肉啦。今日我用係3-4個安士嘅雞肉，首先切雞肉先嗬，3-4安士整湯嘅，唔使咁多。
We'll start with slicing our chicken breast into thin slices.
咁就夠㗎啦。隻片片開佢。
For chicken breast, we can turn our knife horizontal and cut it in half to get smaller slices.
然之後片。
Then continue cutting the halves into thin slices. Now we'll marinate it. 調好之後咧，用少少鹽，有啲味，等佢有啲味嗬，半個茶匙夠啦。一個茶匙嘅生粉，繞繞佢，咁樣嗰啲肉咧就會滑啲噶啦。呢個湯匙嘅水上去，撈勻佢。Then we'll mix it in well. We have all of these ingredients listed on our blog at madewithlao.com, along with step-by-step instructions and video clips to guide you as you make the recipe at home. After the chicken, we'll move on to some shrimp. 擺喺度，蝦都係用3-4安士就夠噶啦。你仲中意多啲少啲冇所謂啦。呢個湯嘅就啲殼。We'll first peel the shrimp. First removing the tail, then the rest of the shell. 一開二片開佢，我哋做湯唔需要成隻蝦，一片開就得噶啦。一開二。幾大？26-30個蝦嚟噶，好大隻，所以片開佢咯。 Because the shrimp we're using today are bigger, my dad cuts them in half horizontally. In the US, shrimp are sold by the amount in a pound. Our shrimp today is 26 to 30, which means there are 26 to 30 shrimp in a pound, which is considered extra large. If you prefer smaller shrimp, you should get those bigger numbers. If you're looking for sustainable seafood options, make sure to reference the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch website. After cutting, we'll use water to rinse the shrimp.
俾啲水一洗嗰啲蝦腸咪乾淨晒啦，係嘛？
自己會甩啊？
咁啦，咁咪甩咯嚇。擺佢落嚟。
We'll rinse to make sure the veins are removed.
OK， 一洗係嘛？
After the veins are gone, we'll squeeze out any water.
攣乾水佢。
Now we'll marinate them.
都係用少少生粉繞住佢，等佢滑啲嚇。
We'll add a teaspoon of cornstarch and mix it in.
好啦，擺喺度，咩用？
With our proteins prepared, we'll move on to the vegetables.
而家咧就切菜啦。菜啲咩咧？嗱，呢個係雞髀菇嚟嘅，擺度洗下佢。呢個咧係紹菜嚟嘅，喺度擺佢。呢個係白菜，白菜都係3個盎司咁上。紹菜係3個盎司，3-4個盎司啊。呢個佢。呢個雞髀菇咧都係2-3個盎司。
We'll put all of our vegetables into a large bowl of water to wash them.
洗佢紅蘿蔔、刨皮都係用2個盎司夠啦，唔使多。
For our carrot, we'll cut off the hard ends and peel it. Then we'll wash all the vegetables together.
嗱，而家咧就俾水洗晒佢，呢個雞髀菇嚟嘅。呢個菜方面咧，你隨你啦啊！本嚟咧用荷蘭豆，但係買唔到荷蘭豆，而家用啲青豆都 OK， 一樣得。
We'll also add 1 ounce of green beans.
菜啊，嗱，我哋以前食鍋包湯邊有咁多料嘅仔，嗰啲鍋包湯咪俾啲咁多腐乳啊，咁樣撈咗就鍋包湯好靚啊，就冇呢啲而家又菜又魚蝦又豬肉嗰啲啦。
Here's a pro tip on washing veggies from the CANTO Cooking Club. Add a little bit of salt to the water.
用一個湯匙個鹽上去啦。嗱，點解我要用啲鹽水嚟浸一浸個西芥蘭咧？因為西芥蘭佢或者會有啲蟲蛋啊，或者啲其他啲菜蟲啊咁樣躝過嗰度，所以啲鹽水咧可以殺菌。
Before diving into the 4 things salt water does to bacteria, we share more of these techniques in our new course, the CANTO Cooking Club, where each month you'll get 30-minute classes on the fundamentals of cooking, from wok technique, prepping ingredients, crafting flavors, and more. Now, 1. Salt dehydrates the cells of bacteria. 2. The enzymes and proteins become dysfunctional. Then 3. The cell structures are broken down due to osmosis. And finally, 4. Cell death occurs. To achieve this effect, just soak the veggies in saline water for around 2 to 3 minutes. Then transfer it to a clean bowl of water. If you want cooking to feel more effortless, go to club.mayokalau.com or click the link in our description to master Cantonese cooking and directly support our channel in the process. After we wash all our veggies, we'll set them aside to drain before cutting them. Now, we'll cut the vegetables.
切菜呢啲係潮菜嚟嘅。
With the napa cabbage, we'll cut them into small pieces about half an inch thick.
呢個湯啲菜啦，唔好切得太大嚿呵。喺度，呢個係雞髀菇。
With the king oyster mushroom, we'll first cut it in half lengthwise, then lay the halves down and cut into small pieces like the napa cabbage. 唔使太多啲渣唔得。嗱，紅蘿蔔。 We'll only use a bit of the carrot, cut it first in half, then again into small pieces. Next, we'll cut the green beans.
豆仔。
We'll cut them into inch-long pieces at an angle.
對，隨你啦，我中意咁切就，你可以個打就咁就食嘅都冇所謂啊。咁啊好睇啲咁啫嘛，有啲型咁樣嚇。白菜。
For the small middle parts of bok choy, we'll cut through the stem lengthwise into smaller pieces.
而家點切啊？
啲菜咪切開佢呢度就打開佢開邊啊！呢啲斜地。
For the bigger leaves we peeled off, we'll cut them at an angle into small pieces.
就係咁多啦。因為太多渣咧，變咗就少湯。一餐館冇咁多菜俾你幾條菜。
With our ingredients all prepared, we'll need a large wok or pot to start cooking our soup.
材料準備好晒，而家就煮起個湯先啦。開火。
First, we'll turn the heat on high.
開到最猛火。呢個雞湯14安士多啲啊！呢隻罐雞湯，呢啲係淡雞湯冇味嘅嚇，係唔鹹嘅呢啲雞湯。
We'll start with 1 can of chicken broth.
呢啲係煲滾啲滾水嚟嘅。
Then we'll add 4 cups of already boiling water to save time.
咁蓋。
Then cover and wait for it to boil.
嗱，凡係我哋滾湯煲湯咧，啲水滾咗先至好落菜，咁啲菜咧就會青綠。水滾，俾咗油先嗬，
又有咩作用？
等啲菜青綠。呢個茶錢唔使好多。
We'll add oil to keep the vegetables green. Then we'll start adding them.
而家就俾菜啦，開先紅蘿蔔先嗬，
因為硬啲。
硬啲係冇錯。啊叻仔，啊叻仔，啊叻仔。好啦，啲菜落去。
We'll follow the carrots with everything else, and we'll mix it around the wok to make sure all the veggies are cooking evenly. Then we'll add some seasoning.
俾鹽，用2個茶匙咁大煲，啲糖落去調一調味，等啲味調和啲，半個茶匙，冚蓋佢，
煮幾耐啊？
滾就得㗎啦，一滾跟住落埋啲肉 ，OK，
With the wok covered, we'll wait for it to boil.
好滾啦。
When it boils, we can remove the lid and add our proteins.
先落雞肉，
We'll give the chicken a quick mix to make sure it's not all stuck in a clump. Then we'll add it to the soup. Make sure that the pieces of chicken are separated by mixing them around the wok. After just 20 to 30 seconds, we'll follow with the shrimp.
再落蝦，
We'll do the same mix in the bowl to loosen the shrimp before we add them to the soup. Then we'll mix them around to make sure they all cook evenly. After just 15 to 20 seconds, we'll add some final seasonings.
加少少麻油，調味，半個茶匙都夠，唔使好多，少少胡椒粉呢特別。如果你想個味更加鮮嘅咧，落少少魚露落去，1個茶匙夠啦，熟晒。
One more final mix and we can turn off the heat.
生火，
At this point, you can have a taste test. You can adjust the seasoning if you like.
聞到香嘅，好香。
正啊，
Once you finalize the flavors of your soup, you can transfer it to a bowl. Now that we're done with the soup, we'll move on to the sizzling star of the show, for which we'll need a dry wok. For convenience, my dad just uses a clean one here, but you can also just clean and dry the same wok we just used.
而家咧就鍋巴，炸呢個鍋巴咧，佢油溫又好高，最少375度嗰頭先得㗎。啲油咧係俾4安士油咁上下啦，夠油先至冚得到啲鍋巴先至得。
How far ahead can you prepare the rice?
如果提早2日咧，你起碼等佢乾先得㗎嘛，一定要乾透炸得佢先浮起。嗱，如果你冇呢個咧，你可以俾1粒落去試下佢，俾落去即刻浮起就證明佢夠油溫啦。啊，你俾1粒落去，咁咧就未夠啦。OK， 380應該夠啦。嗱，睇住啦。
When the oil is at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, we'll add in our rice crackers.
跟住浮起晒啦，係咪？
Make sure to move them around continuously so they can all evenly fry. This dish is famous for its sizzle after the rice is added to the soup. But why does that happen? The short answer is because of boiling. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, where it changes from liquid to gas and becomes steam. So if you fry the rice crackers at 375 degrees Fahrenheit and immediately add them to the soup, it vaporizes the water around it. This is why you hear a sizzle and why you see steam erupt from the soup. This is also why hot oil splashes wildly when you add something wet to it. The steam that's trying to escape instantly launches the oil, which is why you want your foods as dry as possible when deep frying. It's also why you need to add the fried rice crackers to the soup while it's still quite hot, or else the rice and oil won't create the steam and there won't be much sizzle.
得㗎啦，得㗎，起得㗎啦。
After just 40 to 50 seconds, when the rice crackers are slightly browned, we can scoop them up.
靚唔靚啊？睇，我而家倒落去啦。
Then we'll add the fried rice crackers into the soup and let it sizzle. To entertain friends and family, you can add the rice crackers at the table so they can hear the sizzle themselves. Now we'll serve immediately while the rice crackers are still crispy.
Is it good?
正唔正
It's so soothing.
？Hello， 朋友們，嗱呢個鍋巴湯就完全做好晒啦，希望大家中意哦。
Somebody likes Yega's food.
Oh my god. Dude, she's just going at that shit.
Next, my dad will teach us how to make his favorite fried rice.
瑤柱蛋白炒飯，
Dried scallop and egg white fried rice, a popular banquet dish also known as billionaire's fried rice. To start, my dad's going to teach us a few simple rules of thumb to prep the rice.
倒啲水落嚟洗，洗完啲水倒落個鍋底嗰度。
多謝。
你由呢度去3杯埋 OK。
Alright. My dad typically likes to wash his rice 3 times, so it's very clean.
Basically, he washes until there's no more murky white water.
你倒晒啲水買落去先。嗱，一杯買用8嘅安士嘅水，3杯買咧就用24安士。
In different area, they produce different rice. The level of the absorb water is different. The rice in United States from Texas will be absorb more water. But if you buy jasmine rice from Thailand, it absorbs less water.
So you just have to know your rice.
You have to know your rice, you have to try your rice first. But normally for fried rice, we want the fried rice a little bit less water so the rice can stay piece by piece.
Is there a general rule you add like 10% less water than you normally would, or how do you estimate it?
一間位我而家就俾8個安士水啫。如果你平時嘅唔係，咪俾多幾個安士水落去咯。
Now my dad will show us how to prepare the dried scallop.
呢度有2種光瑤翅，呢種咧就細粒啲嘅、軟啲嘅，就容易啲拋開、浸開咗。呢個咧就硬啲嘅，就比較要耐少少時間嚟浸開。咁啊，我哋做呢個視頻咧就趕時間啦，就用呢隻細粒啲嘅。
但係粒啲係咪好食？係咪好味啲啊？
應該係好味啲。呢啲咧，呢啲成8蚊一磅。
100蚊啊！
我哋頭先用嗰啲咧，就呢個條剝。
The small one is only $28 for pound. Yeah, this is the big, really small.
先啲光瑤翅洗咗先，洗佢，洗咗之後咧就俾啲暖水滾水浸住佢，佢就會快脆啲浸開咗啦。當然你唔使趕時間嘅，咁你咪浸耐啲嘅都得。
你浸幾耐啊？
有20分鐘咁上下啦。
After washing the dried scallops 3 times, we'll let it soak in hot water.
光瑤翅就浸緊啦，嗬，我哋擺喺度先嗬。
Now we'll move on to the aromatics, starting with the green onion. Once the green onion is diced, we'll prep the ginger.
有少少薑，因為我洗乾淨啦，又整洗乾淨，唔一定要刨皮啦，就咁切得噶啦。薑皮都有益㗎，呢個 penny 一半咧，切一條絲，打拍齊佢咁樣切。
Now we'll crack 4 eggs.
嗱，睇住點樣倒蛋白啦嗱。
We'll separate the egg yolk from the white by cracking the top of the shell, then passing the yolk between the 2 halves. We'll let the white fall into the bowl below, then pour the yolk into another bowl.
啲蛋黃咧攞咗我嚟炒又得，蒸又得啊。
After at least 20 minutes of soaking in hot water, the dried scallops should be rehydrated.
光瑤翅咧就而家就浸腍咗啦，嗱睇到啊，一捏就得噶啦。我咧呢度係用1個安士嘅光瑤翅做啦，嗱。如果拎佢出嚟整碎佢嗬，啲蛋好食啊！我俾你浸光瑤翅啲汁，啲水俾揸住蒸嘅蛋啊，又有光瑤翅喺入邊蒸啊。
Oh, nice. Save the water from the soaking.
After the dried scallops have rehydrated, it's time to shred them.
嗱，邊個刀咁撳佢咪得，係嘛？
喺呢度揸住啊？
係啊，先有力啊嘛。
After smashing the scallops with a cleaver, we can shred them with our hands.
嗰啲成嚿嘅咪搣佢咯，搣到佢，
Ching from Patreon asks, can you use fresh scallops?
唔得嘅，
唔得。
冇個味，冇呢個光瑤翅嘅味。新鮮嘅帶子咧，佢就好鮮，但係呢個就香，鮮得嚟夠香。你當然你得俾條炒飯都得，但係唔係咁炒法咯，當海鮮炒飯啦。嗱，睇住而家差唔多啦，一條條噶嘛，係嘛？
Dried scallop and egg white fried rice, or yu chu dan bak tao fan in Cantonese, apparently came about when a Hong Kong billionaire wanted to eat healthier, and this dish is what a chef created. With just a few ingredients, this dish is often served at Chinese banquets because of its use of the gourmet ingredient of dried scallops, with a pound of them sometimes costing hundreds of dollars. The dried scallops bring the umami flavor to the simple ingredients, and the egg white brings some chewy texture, which results in a light and balanced fried rice dish that belongs on a banquet table or just at home. With the dried scallops ready, let's check on our cooked rice.
飯就煮好咗啦，我先打餸啲飯先嗬。嗱，打餸啲飯。
點解要打餸啊？
打餸飯因為去一去啲熱氣，咪容易炒啲咯。得啦，我哋開始炒飯而家嚇，開火。如果係慢火燒熱隻鑊先，想啲蛋炒啲飯唔黐鑊，唔一定要燒隻鑊夠熱先至落油。我哋今日用粟米油做嗬，用粟米油炒，好落油， 炒蛋白啦，就落多少少油係嘛，2個湯匙上去。如果啷就鑊佢，
We'll swirl the oil around the wok so it's coating the whole bottom.
然之後咧俾啲蛋白落嚟，等我發一發佢先。
We'll beat the egg white a bit before pouring it into the wok.
新中火，冇咁慢火，就炒老咗啲蛋唔得噶啦啊！
Notice how my dad quickly stirs and keeps moving the egg white around as he pours. This will help it not overcook or stick to the wok. After just 20 to 30 seconds, we can take out the egg. Then we'll add half of the dried scallop into the wok.
嗱，睇到嘛？
We'll fry the dried scallop for about a minute or until it turns golden brown.
炸緊，炸香呢啲鋪面嘅。OK， 新慢火，間火而家慢火咁炸香佢。嗱呢個睇黃色係咪？好啦，過咗嗰啲油佢，擺喺度停油，
We'll then add the ginger and the rest of the dried scallop.
一齊。
How do you prevent the dried scallops from tasting overcooked and fishy?
你好似炸香嘅鋪面佢咧就係俾油炸香嘅啦，但係我哋落去炒嗰時有啲薑啊，你啲薑撈埋一齊炒啊嘛，咁咪唔會咯。其實講瑤柱就唔會喎，覺得佢腥嘅。
After 30 to 40 seconds to stir frying the ginger and the dried scallop, we can add the rice.
How do you prevent the rice from sticking in the wok?
就唔好煮佢太爛飯，俾少少水煮飯，
咁燒嘅喎，
可以
咁先加油。
攞個油。另外仲有一個問題就，如果係唔係蛋白炒飯啦，呢啲普通嘅蛋炒飯，炒咗蛋先至炒飯，唔會黐喎。
Remember to keep moving the rice in the wok so that it doesn't burn.
慢慢佢鹹散緊，一問啲火，將啲飯鹹散佢。炒呢個江瑤柱炒飯咧，最一個就
Do you chill the rice overnight first?
no。我啲咪啱啱煮好啲飯嚟咯。如果隔夜飯咧，我都係俾佢買嗰個整完我先炒，炒得嚟又快脆又正。你俾乾凍嘅飯咁炒咗幾年先炒得佢軟啊？
OK， 有好多人話你一定要用
隔夜飯。
隔夜飯，點解有咁多人諗？
隔夜飯佢好處咧，佢炒咗上嚟一粒粒，唔會黐埋一嚿嚿咁，你咪炒。但係你炒得好，我啲飯都冇問題啫，個人中意咯。
咁你喺餐館係咪用隔夜飯炒咧？
如果冇隔夜飯咧點啊？咁炒喎，佢唔係喎。
The only difference it is if you you're not really professional cook. Overnight rice may be a little bit easier because overnight rice is more harder, so it's less sticky on the wok.
After stir frying the rice for about 2 minutes, we can add some seasoning.
All right, half a teaspoon of salt.
嗰啲鹽啊，就糖落半嗰啲糖。
We'll also add a half teaspoon of sugar and a half teaspoon of fish sauce.
Are you not supposed to add soy sauce to this recipe?
餐館做就唔加豉油，即係呢個菜都唔想佢有其他嘅大黑色嘅嘢喺度，因為係蛋白啊嘛。你加少少魚露就冇乜問題。葱花俾落去。
After 30 seconds of stir frying in the seasonings, we can add the egg white.
少少麻油落去，記得嗰個茶匙羹。
After tossing for another 1 to 2 minutes, we can plate.
呢啲就好味啦。Oh my god！
We'll top our rice with a fried dried scallop we set aside earlier.
Okay.
唔該，食炒飯咯。
Okay, let's try 爺爺嘅
Okay,
first.
yes.
Cammy, what do you think? Good? Oh, it's so good.
能夠炒得出嚟呢個炒飯唔黐鑊就成功啦。好多人炒呢個炒飯就係黐鑊，蛋同其他蛋撈埋蛋黃炒飯就永遠唔會黐鑊。但係蛋白炒飯咧，就算係喺餐館做嗰啲廚師，有時都會黐鑊。江瑤柱蛋白炒飯煮好咗啦，希望大家中意。
What number for Dada?
Basketball.
Basketball, of course.
How many basketball?
Football. Okay.
Lastly, we'll break down the texture of the rice completely for a soothing congee.
皮蛋瘦肉粥。
Century egg and pork congee, the OG Cantonese rice porridge. Sometimes congee takes hours to make, but my dad's got a special trick to cut the time down to just about 30 minutes. We'll start this heartwarming classic with my dad's special technique to prepare the rice.
一杯米大概係6嘅安士咁上下嘅米啦，6嘅安士咁上下米。洗米嗱。
Just like when we're cooking rice, we're gonna wash the rice 3 times, making sure to pour out the starchy water and using fresh water each time.
嗱，啲洗米水咧，我哋淋花好好噶。
What kind of rice do you use?
我就用嗰啲泰國嗰啲米煲粥，我中意泰國米煲上嚟佢綿啲，即係起膠質多啲。整 sushi 嗰啲米嚟整都好，煮得嚟軟啲嗰啲飯。咁樣浸住佢先，浸一浸佢，佢咪容易啲煲咯啊！嗱，少少鹽落去，一個茶匙咁上下鹽，又係俾一個茶匙咁上下油。 俾咗油落去咧，煲上嚟嗰啲粥就會滑啲噶啦，攪佢先，擺啲過嚟先。
We'll let the rice soak a bit and move on to an optional ingredient that adds a ton of flavor, dried scallops.
我通常咧急光瑤柱，我就用個鉗整開佢先，整鉗開佢，整開佢嗱。
We'll break apart roughly 1 ounce of dried scallops into bits using pliers to make it easier.
咁整身啲嗰日咧，佢煲上嚟就容易啲啦。 容易啲出味啦，唔中意光瑤柱嘅你唔俾都冇乜所謂。光瑤柱整咗之後咧，用水洗嘅嗬。
We'll wash the scallops 2 times, in the same way as the rice, draining the water each time. Now we're ready to start cooking. We'll heat 8 cups of water on high until it boils.
記得煲滾水先至落啲米上去，啲瑤柱開始而家擺落去。 水就係滾噶啦，睇到嘛？好啦，水而家滾啦，我哋而家咧將啲米擺落去咯喎。
Once the water boils, we'll carefully put our soaked rice in the pot.
而家開猛火呀！啲米咧泡起上嚟。
Can you make it with previously cooked rice?
佢哋已經熟咗嘅，嗰啲澱粉已經係即係成嚿喺度噶啦。你要煲翻耐先至煲翻開嗰粒飯。
唔係咁靚啊，我覺得。
佢啲米就唔同啦，煲嘅時候咧，佢就化開。睇佢滾咗之後咧，開中火慢慢就煲佢。咁樣攪過一次之後咧，就唔好再攪噶啦。再攪佢咧，佢就容易會以後會黐底噶啦，知道嘛？ 中火煲佢，將離開啲唔啲辣 ，keep 住佢咁滾就得噶啦。
Congee, or tuk in Cantonese, is a super common Chinese comfort food, but because it originates from a time when people were poor and made big pots of congee to make their rice last longer, it is generally considered bad luck to eat it during Chinese New Year. However, it's not quite that simple, so I asked my parents about it.
Are you not supposed to eat this for Chinese New Year?
過咗13就煲粥啦。
2 days before the Latin Day。
唔係啊，唔好，即係咁樣講咧，習慣就我哋鄉下啲人咧，13之前就唔煲粥。
爹哋話咧，佢話喺13咧，即係過咗年初一13日咧，如果啲人問佢食乜嘢，今日佢話食13咁啊，咁啊即係煲粥啦。
Oh, you just say the number.
13就知道係食粥啦。
While even my parents aren't sure of the significance of the 13th day, others suggest that after 12 days of eating rich foods, the 13th day is the appropriate time to cleanse the body with a simple rice congee. That's not to say that it doesn't have flavor, because people love the savory pork and century egg in this dish. We'll talk more about that classic Chinese ingredient in a bit. Next, my dad will show you the best way to cut the pork for this dish.
我今日咧就係用半磅膊頭肉咁樣切，首先咧切成片先，呢個好靚呢個豬肉。如果你雪硬嘅話切咧就容易切啲咯。
We're using half-thawed pork here to make the cutting much easier. After cutting the pork into slices, we'll have some pieces that are too thick by cutting them horizontally.
嗱，一片片之後咧，切咗條條嚇。
Then we'll lay down the slices and cut them into strips. Then we'll rotate and dice the strips.
切咗條條之後咧，嗱，打翻直咁切佢嚇。
What pork substitute can be used?
用雞肉得啫，用牛肉得嘅啫。最好就用雞肉，雞髀肉就滑啲，雞胸肉就係啲。或者你唔用咁切咧，你去 market 咧有啲搞好晒嘅肉碎，嗰啲肉碎都得噶。你唔想切嘅咪去買嗰啲肉碎翻嚟咯。 少咗之後咧，裝住佢，俾啲水沖佢，沖晒嗰啲有啲紅色㗎嗰啲嘢出嚟，就去咁啲血腥味，隔開佢。啊！
Next, we'll cut up about 1/4 ounce of ginger for the marinade. First, we'll cut it into slices. Then, we'll lay down the slices to cut it into strips. Then, we'll rotate 90 degrees to dice it. We'll put the ginger into a bowl, and for the rest of the marinade, we'll add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of water, and optionally, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda to get the pork really tender. Then we'll mix it all together.
攪完之後咧，就將啲肉擺上去咯喎，再減一減嗰水佢。仲有啲紅色嘅水出嚟，擺佢落嚟。咁攪勻啲佢，攪到佢起醬都唔怕嘅。嗱，落少少麻油上去，一個茶匙嘅麻油。咁就搞好晒啦，煲熟啲粥嗰時先擺上去嚇。
With our pork marinated, we'll get a clean cutting board to prepare our garnishes.
芫茜、葱都係屋企種嘅嚇。
With those all chopped up, my dad will show you how to prepare the last and definitely not the least important ingredient in this dish, the century egg.
用3隻皮蛋嚇。
We'll peel the century eggs like regular hard-boiled eggs. First, we'll crack the outside shell on our cutting board. Then we'll carefully remove the shell off of the egg. For those unfamiliar with it, century egg, or pei dan in Cantonese, is a centuries-old Chinese ingredient that is traditionally created by preserving duck eggs in a special curing mixture, including clay, ash, and salt, amongst a variety of other elements. Don't be too worried about the name though, because the curing process for century eggs usually only takes months or even weeks, after which the egg white will have turned black and the yolk will be dark green. Despite its shocking appearance to the uninitiated, century eggs are enjoyed by millions of people for the intense flavor of the yolk and the chewy texture of the egg white, whether it's eaten as an appetizer over some silken tofu or as an ingredient in congee.
我哋切開㗎啦，好靚皮蛋。
With the first egg, we'll cut it into wedges.
喺度。
With the other two, we'll cut them first into wedges, then rotate to cut into smaller pieces. With the eggs cut, we're ready to return to our congee, which has been cooking for 20 minutes.
聞見啲瑤柱嚟講，瑤柱好好味。好啦，而家咧粥就夠時間啦。嗱，粥底嗱唔黐底嘅。
You might recognize this from our chicken congee recipe, but my dad's about to share what I believe is a revolutionary trick to drastically cut down the time it typically takes to make congee.
閂慢火用呢個攪啦。而家提倡係節約能源啊嘛，用呢個攪就唔使煲咁耐煲粥啦，係嘛？攪爛佢。我細個嗰時，我媽煲粥就係咁啦，一煲滾咗冇幾耐啦，佢就用呢個啦，叫我攪啦。
要慳幾多時間？
慳好多時間，起碼1半時間。煲靚粥咧，如果你唔打佢咧，起碼1個鐘頭以上。嗱，好靚啦，而家半個鐘到啫嘛。嗱，攪佢你咪起隻面，粥底好靚啫。係啦嘛。咦？咁樣咧就結咗少少啦，加多少少滾水上去。
My dad adds a bit more water here, about 4 ounces, but this depends on your preferred thickness of congee. We like it a bit thinner than this because it's less likely to stick to the pot and our other ingredients will already thicken it a bit. Now that our congee is pretty much cooked, my dad will show you how to properly add the pork.
我哋開到最慢火下，啲肉咧一嚿嚿唔好咩下地晒落嘅喎，整散佢。咁啲肉咧佢就會好似一個肉丸咁啦，知道嘛？你想佢唔黐啦，咁咪點一點啲粥咪得咯。
而家係慢，
好慢，而家啲粥就得㗎啦嘛。咁整佢咧就佢會一嚿肉啦，唔會散嘅，你知道嘛？好啦，肉就俾晒落㗎啦，攪下佢，一個丸仔咁喺度，開翻少少火佢，等啲肉熟，俾咗啲肉咧又結啲㗎啦，知道嘛？
要煮嘅肉幾耐
？3分鐘就得㗎啦，好快脆熟嘅啫，熟㗎啦已經。
After about 3 minutes, or when the pork fully turns from pink to the lightest brown, we can turn the heat to low and have a taste.
OK， 我雪多士咁多啲鹽得，半個茶匙，咁樣就太結啦。好嘢，仲要加啲滾水上去，半杯水咁上下啦，撈埋，覺得半杯水咁。
What is the best water to rice ratio?
好似我頭先咁嘅比例啦，一杯米係6個安士咁，你俾8杯水啊，或者10杯水啊，咁你中意咯。我頭先煲咗出嚟咧，變咗結實少少啦，結少少收尾又加啲水落去咯。你自己可以隨時加啲滾水落，加就加滾水 ，OK， 唔好加凍水。
咁你要加滾水 ，that will be easy to make the same temperature with the pot.
With our flavoring and consistency perfect, we'll finally add the small pieces of century egg.
切碎嗰啲俾落去嗱。
We'll gently mix the century egg into the congee to ensure the small pieces don't break apart.
睇下睇肉幾靚係嘛？好似肉丸㗎嘛。好啦，新火啦而家嚇。
After 30 seconds, we'll turn off the stove and transfer the congee to a serving bowl. Then we'll top the congee with our century egg wedges along with our cilantro and green onions.
Did you eat this growing up?
粥就食得多，皮蛋粥就唔係咁多。
We do get able to buy 皮蛋 but not like right now can buy a lot.
哇！
我哋屋企家常嘅皮蛋瘦肉粥已經煲好咗啦，希望大家中意。紅隊吃粥咯
Cheers！
皮蛋瘦肉粥，
爹哋啊，吃唔多吃乜啊？
攝腩啊，
攝衫係乜啊？
攝腩啊都係吃粥咯。哦嘿！
耶，好多嘢！
YouTube thinks you'll like this recipe next. Let's see if they're right. A huge thank you to our wok stars and all of our chefs in the CANTO Cooking Club.